Hello, and welcome to the step-by-step guide that will walk through the process of setting up and the basic configuration for the data activity synthetic data generation. So the next step is step 5, open the configuration file in VIP. So for this we're going to go to VIP and we're going to click on test data, edit data generation configuration, and we're going to navigate to the folder we just created, which is in VIP work and as OT_customers. Click on the config file, open, and as we can see the generation, we can see all the different tabs here, and we can see the tables in here. So this is customers, and we can expand it, and then we can also see orders and order items. The next step is step 6, navigating the tables and columns. So go back to VIP. So what we can see here is that we have our 3 tables. We have customers, orders and order items. Now in here we can see each of the column names, and we can see that it has given us a selection of generation functions that it recommends for us. These are automatically generated. We can also go to the orders table and we can see it's doing something similar here. We've also got it for order items. Now notice how we've gone from customers, which is all just random helper functions. This is orders, as you can see. We've got something called var_customers_customer ID. So this shows us that we've got a parent-child relationship between the tables. And this is taking the customer ID from the customers table where we're generating it to keep that referential integrity intact. And similarly, we've also got order items. We've got the order ID associated with the order table. The next step is step 7, which is basic editing of data generation rules. Now this video will not show you all of the powerful function accelerators that we have within VIP. To get this information, there will be additional documentation to show this. So if we go back to our customers table, we can see all these functions are here. Now what VIP does have is a great ability for you to double click on a column and you can see that a window pops up. Now what this provides us is really good IntelliSense and additional information of how functions are created and the parameters that you can set into them. So for an example, if I press dot and then I go faker, then I'm looking for an email address. So if I press dot again, then I know this is in the internet section. And then if I press dot again, and I can go to email. Now if I hover over the email bit, we can see that this gives us some intelligence of how the function operates. So I can see that it produces a string. I can see that we have parameters first name, last name, provider, and a suffix that I can provide. So these are all information that I can provide to the function to create an email address for me. Now there's a vast wide selection of different generation functions, and all of these can be found in different areas of our knowledge base. The next step is exporting and saving the flow. So if we go back to VIP, we have our configuration open. If we click on the button export flow, it will do a validation and export the flow into the window. As you can see here, it is currently validating the flow, and there shouldn't be any validation errors. Once this is validated, we can also click the run button to just test, and this will only work if the machine that it has been installed on has connectivity to the database. So let's just test to see if it generates data. Okay, perfect. So as we can see, that seems to have worked. So we can click on this button here to get a full explore of the logs. And we can also see on this row that it's generated 3 rows. And it also gave us a pop-up of in Windows Explorer in the preview folder. Here we can see the data that we have generated. So let's have a quick look in here. Okay, so here we can see a CSV of the data that we have generated. Just so you know that you can actually turn this preview option off, because if you are generating large sections of CSV, this can really affect performance. Okay, perfect. So we've got synthetically generated data here. So the next step is to sync the rule set back to test modeler and also uploading the VIP flow back to our data activity. If we go back to VIP and then we click the sync rule set button, what this will do is this will sync all the rules that we configured back to VIP and into test modeler. That way we can store them and use them in either other data activities or to register different versions. So if we navigate back to test modeler and then the action to upload the flow, click on big one and then click execute. Let's navigate to the file that we created. So in our example, that's C drive VIP work, and then we go to our folder OT_customers, and then we navigate to the assets folder, and then the file we're looking for is the one that's ending in .vip, and then click execute. So if we now go back to the data activity and refresh the page, we can now see that the VIP flow is now there. So our next and final step is actually creating the submit form for our synthetic data generation flow. So if we go back to our activity and go down to the actions, and we have the create data generation submit form. So we click on that and select our server. So I'm going to call it Toby example data generation, and then I'm going to put it in the Toby group. What you can also do is you can actually choose an existing process and update it using this bit here. Just be careful, because you can choose a lot of different VIP Excel flows. And then we've got two checkboxes here. So this one actually allows you to have automatically filled out data values for your drop downs. And then this one allows you to have additional field to override today's date in the submission form. So then if we click execute, okay, perfect. Now if we just go back to our activity, and if we refresh the page, and here we can see the form has been attached to our activity. And if we click execute, we'll see that it automatically fills out the connection. And you can see here that we have override today's date in here, so we can choose a date to execute, and then that will be if we have any par-based dates or anything like that, we would use the system date. We can actually override that to be put in for another date. So if we want to create data which in the future would pass, this would be a good way to do it. And if we want to execute the generation flow, we can click this execute button here.